Welcome back to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we are tackling a massive question for the gaming community. Look, it's 2026. We know the shadow of GTA 6 is looming huge over all of us right now. But here's the reality. Millions of you are literally still cruising around Los Santos today. So we're going to objectively break down the data, look at the cold hard facts, and figure out your next move. Is the GTA 5 next-gen upgrade for the PlayStation 5 actually worth your hard-earned money right now? Or should you just hold off? Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. The core dilemma here is pretty wild when you think about it. You're looking at your wallet, and you're looking at a game that originally dropped in, wait for it, 2013. Yeah, 2013. To pay for an upgrade now in 2026 requires some serious justification. We're going to look closely at exactly what you get for that upgrade fee, and more importantly, what it actually means for your daily play sessions.
The stakes here basically boil down to a test of patience versus immediate gratification. On one hand, you could just hold out, right? Keep your cash in your pocket, survive with what you currently have, and just wait for the massive cultural earthquake that's going to be GTA 6. But on the flip side, you have the immediate, super tangible benefits of upgrading your current Los Santos experience today. If you're spending hours upon hours in this world right now, those daily benefits might just totally outweigh the wait.
Section 1. Visuals and performance compared. When we look back at the older PS4 hardware, man, it is really starting to show its age. You're locked into a 1080p resolution, completely capped out at just a sluggish 30 frames per second. But jump over to the PlayStation 5 and boom, the energy completely shifts. You are literally doubling that frame rate to a buttery-smooth 60 frames per second in performance mode. Add in up to 4K resolution and the introduction of actual ray tracing in supported modes, it's a breathtaking difference. The crispness and the fluidity are a complete generational leap.
And this brilliantly illustrates that we aren't just talking about raw numbers here. We're talking about a complete visual overhaul. The PS5 brings significantly better lighting and enhanced reflections that literally make the city streets gleam after a rainstorm. You get much higher quality textures to replace the muddy base ones, HDR support for incredibly vibrant colors, and a massively increased draw distance. You can see so much further and clearer, replacing those basic blocky shadows of the past with a world that looks remarkably more realistic.
I really want you to focus on this quote from our source material. Driving through Los Santos feels much more fluid at 60 FPS. Just think about how much time you actually spend behind the wheel in this game. That mathematical jump from 30 to 60 frames per second, it isn't just some tech nerd footnote. It translates directly into smoother, highly responsive gameplay. Every sharp turn, every drift, every high-speed police chase just feels infinitely better in your hands.
Section 2. Speed and sensory upgrades.
We've talked about what your eyes are seeing, but now we need to look under the hood and literally right into the palms of your hands. Let's be brutally honest for a second. We all know the absolute pain of those notoriously long PS4 loading screens. You boot up the game, you go make a whole sandwich, you doom scroll on your phone, you stare at the clouds for well over a minute just waiting to get into the action. It's a total test of endurance. Contrast that with the PS5. The custom SSD dramatically slashes those loading times. You spend way less time waiting and way more time actually playing the game. It gets you in almost instantly.
But the PS5 isn't just faster under the hood. It sounds and feels entirely different. We're talking about the advanced controller technology of the DualSense, specifically those adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback. Combine that with Tempest 3D audio, and your spatial awareness and physical connection to Los Santos are just completely transformed.
To give those features some real narrative weight, consider this detail from the analysis. You can actually feel different road surfaces, weapon recoil, explosions, and weather effects. This is honestly incredible. When you veer off the asphalt and onto the dirt out in Blaine County, the vibration in your hands actually shifts. When a thunderstorm rolls in or some random player sets off a sticky bomb a block away, the controller physicalizes that event. It actively and physically connects you to the game world in a way the older generation just flat out cannot do.
Section 3. The GTA Online Advantage.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the hardware differences start to actively divide the player base, creating two very different tiers of the multiplayer experience. If you're a dedicated GTA Online player, you need to pay close attention here. The PS5 version includes exclusive features you flat out cannot get on the PS4. You get access to House Special Works, which means significantly faster, massively upgraded vehicles. You also get the Career Builder and Career Progress rewards, which makes establishing your criminal empire so much smoother. Combine all that with a vastly better loading experience to get into lobbies, and these exclusives make the PS5 the objectively better choice for anyone taking GTA Online seriously. Let's move to Section 4, the final verdict, and see how this builds to our ultimate conclusion.
For my tech-minded viewers, this is the dense visual payoff right here. Across the board, the objective advantages of the newer hardware are clear as day. The PS4 gives you 1080p and 30 FPS with incredibly slow loading. The PS5 counters all of that with up to 4K resolution, 60 FPS, ray tracing, ultra-fast loading, DualSense support, those exclusive SW vehicles, plus HDR and 3D audio. It is a clean sweep in literally every single technical category.
So who is this actually for? Well, you should absolutely upgrade today if you fall into these categories. You already own a PS5 and you play GTA Online regularly. If you're spending hours grinding in those lobbies, the faster loading and exclusive content are incredibly valuable. Plus, if you crave smoother gameplay, want to ditch those painfully long loading screens once and for all, and want the absolute best graphics Los Santos has to offer, this upgrade is going to be a very noticeable, completely worthwhile improvement for you.
However, on the flip side, and let's be very practical here, you should definitely skip the upgrade and save your hard-earned money if you only play occasionally. If you're just popping in for 10 minutes a month to mess around, it's really not worth the cash. Obviously, if you still only use a